Page 115, The Secret of the Method. Patience, Replacement, and the Rise of the Sincere. Episode 115. Why do some people ask for miracles, yet never change themselves? Why do some mock faith, only to watch others receive what they once demanded? And why does history show that when one generation fails, another rises to replace it? Today we explore a powerful principle of transformation, patience, and replacement. Segment 1. The Mockery of the Hypocrites. Throughout history, some people demanded proof of faith in arrogant ways. They asked for rewards before belief. They asked for blessings before repentance. Some even mocked the idea of divine reward, demanding a paradise on earth as a condition for faith. But such blessings are not granted to arrogance. They are granted to sincerity. The message here is clear. What hypocrites demanded mockingly will eventually be granted to the believers who were patient. Not because they demanded it, but because they remained sincere. Real transformation follows stages, and those stages cannot be skipped. Segment 2. The Consequence of Arrogance. When people mock truth long enough, they eventually lose the ability to recognize it. They underestimate prayer. They ridicule faith. They treat repentance as weakness. But when the time of truth arrives, they discover something shocking. What they mocked becomes reality for others, and what they demanded becomes permanently out of reach. This moment becomes a testimony that sincerity opens doors that arrogance forever closes. Segment 3. The Last Chance of a Generation. Even when a generation fails, mercy still exists. Sometimes their final chance appears through their children. Because the next generation cannot claim ignorance, they cannot say they simply followed their parents. They are now witnesses to the consequences of those choices. And they must decide whether they will repeat the past or break away from it. History often offers this final opportunity, but not everyone takes it. Segment 4. The Rise of the Few. Another powerful pattern appears throughout history. The people who transform societies are rarely the majority. They are usually a small group. A group defined not by numbers, but by sincerity. They do not become discouraged by their small size. And they are not deceived by the large numbers of those who oppose them. Because truth has never depended on majority approval. Real change begins with a minority that refuses to surrender its principles. Segment 5. The Replacement of Nations. One of the strongest lessons in history is this. When a community abandons its mission, it is eventually replaced. When hearts die, when selfishness replaces responsibility, when people care only about themselves and ignore the well-being of their community, their role slowly disappears. But the story does not end there. Because when one group fails, another group rises. History always finds new carriers of responsibility. New people who will revive what was abandoned. Segment 6. The Danger of Small Sins. Moral collapse rarely begins with major crimes. It usually begins with small compromises. Small sins that seem insignificant. Small choices that appear harmless. But when people constantly ignore these small wrongs, they accumulate. Eventually, they surround the person. And over time, they weaken the heart, until the ability to change disappears. This is why discipline and self-awareness are essential. Segment 7. The Cost of Real Change. True transformation is never instant. It requires patience, effort, reflection, struggle against ego and desire. It requires resisting the pressure of the crowd. And it requires seeking knowledge from those who truly understand. Those who commit to this process receive something remarkable. Their understanding grows. Their faith deepens. And their resilience becomes stronger with every challenge. Segment 8. The Test of Every Generation. Every generation faces its own unique challenges. Different technologies, different forms of power, different obstacles, but the core test remains the same. Will people rely on effort and discipline, or wait passively for miracles? The truth is simple. Miracles are not random rewards. Transformation comes through effort, persistence, and trust in divine wisdom. The process includes testing. It includes purification. And it includes the gradual emergence of those who are truly ready. Segment 9, Becoming the Best Version of Yourself. One of the deepest ideas in this message is that every human being possesses hidden potential. Talents waiting to emerge. Abilities waiting to be developed. But these talents only appear when a person pushes himself to his limits. When he commits fully. When he refuses to waste his abilities. Life itself becomes the training ground for this transformation. And through patience and perseverance, a stronger version of the individual begins to emerge. Closing reflection. History does not reward mockery. It rewards sincerity. It does not reward laziness. It rewards perseverance. And it does not favor those who wait passively. It favors those who prepare themselves. Because when the moment of change finally arrives, only the prepared will recognize it, and only the sincere will be ready to carry the responsibility.